My father was here during the war, but I never found out he was here until about 12, 13 years ago. I had no idea. I knew he'd been in Sicily, but I did not know that he'd come to southern Italy, to Napoli, to Hercule, to Pompeii, and then Salerno. And it was only actually quite recently that I discovered he was in Salerno. We're still trying to find out exactly what he was doing, because records have been it's not fair to say in England they were destroyed. There was a lot of records that were never kept for whatever reasons. So we are trying to understand the reasons that we are not told. But I found some paperwork from my father which shows the periods of time he was here, which was my starting point to try and find things out. And my mother didn't know, because I was born in 1949, and I was born at a time when my father's papers were his, so my mother would not look at his papers. I was never allowed to look at his papers, and he died in 1980, and my mother lived till 1997. I inherited all the papers, but it was only about 13 years that I start to look, and so I knew nothing. I'm still trying to find out an awful lot now. But what is very, very interesting was for many years, I first came down here in 1982, 2 years after my father died, and it was very, very strange. And I have to say, I don't take drugs. I've never taken drugs in my life. I don't drink, so I'm very sane, as they say. But in 1982, the first time I came here, I remember going back and saying to my wife, I have really strange feelings. I said, it was almost like my father was with me. And she said, well, he's only been dead 2 years, maybe. I said, no. I really felt it. So when I found all these papers 10 years later to say he'd been down here, it was very, very, well, a wonderful feeling, but very, very strange. So I have a very, very, we have an expression in English, soft spot, emotional spot for Salerno because of this.
The primary objective was to secure the firm model and then drive north towards Naples, which they expected to enter